Good morning. I'm Gregory Mason. Welcome to First Presbyterian Church for Olympia Brown Unitarian Universalist Church's service. Before we start, we'll have some announcements. Roseanne?
Good morning, everyone. I've got some good news. OBUUC is well on its way to becoming a Good Trouble congregation again. There you go. With 37 days before Election Day, there is still more to be done to make sure we achieve that goal. So here's how you can help. First of all, on Friday, October 18th, from 6 to 8 p.m., the UU The Vote Committee is planning a pizza and postcard party to write postcards provided by Racine Interfaith Coalition. Our children will join us to help decorate the postcards. Please join us. And secondly, Friday, October 18th, from 6 to 8 p.m., and it should be in the unifier when it comes out. Secondly, on Election Day, November 5th, the UU The Vote Committee is asking for help driving Youth Empowered in the Struggle, the YES students, around as they canvass voters. We will also feed them breakfast and lunch, so we will need volunteers to help with that as well. Please let me know if you can do either of these things to help us become a Good Trouble congregation. Thank you.
Thank you, Roseanne. Bring your Love Pantry donations to church on Sunday mornings. Our middle and high school youth will use them to fill the pantry on the first Sunday of the month, which is next Sunday. Before the service, you can put your non-perishable food donations in the red wagon in the hallway outside the church sanctuary. Next Sunday will be a great time to help us help others. There is one spot available for an upcoming auction event. Lasagna by Tenutas, meat and vegetarian, breadsticks, salad, dessert, and wine on Tuesday, October 8th at 5 p.m. at Wayne and Ruth Bradford Johnson's on the north side of Kenosha. The cost is $30. Contact Ruth if you are interested. The next deadline for paper raise right orders is October 20th. See me if you need a form. Here are some upcoming dates to keep in mind. On October 20th, we'll have our water communion. October 25th from 6:30 to 8 p.m., OBUUC Halloween Fun Night and Dessert Potluck. And October 27th, we won't be here for service that day. We are going to join Bradford Community Church Unitarian Universalist in Kenosha at 10 a.m. for a Halloween play and trunk or treat. Costumes are encouraged. For more information and details about some of these announcements, along with others and community announcements, see your monthly email. It is not too early to think about the November unifier. The deadline to submit is October 25th. Thank you to our volunteers today, our ushers, Jerry Patak and Michael Rude, our Zoom host, Maria Scott, our who's doing Zoom today? You are? You didn't know that? Maria, thank you for joining us. Okay. She'll be right there. She'll be right there. And our coffee hour host, the Fifth Principal Committee. Please stay for coffee hour following the service. For those on YouTube, log into Zoom after the service for your coffee hour. The link is in today's email.
Good morning. Welcome. Welcome to Olympia Brown Unitarian Universalist Church. Welcome to everyone here in person and everyone here in YouTube. And a special welcome to our newcomers today. I am Lisa Skopatak, and our words of welcome are by Alex Riley. It is good to be together in this co-created sacred space where all are welcome. However you experience or express gender is welcome here. Who you love, how you love, is welcome and celebrated here. Where you are from and where you are going in your journey is welcome here. Whether you come full of joy or whether your heart is heavy, you are welcome here. You are a part of a beloved community that is sacred because each one of us is sacred. Each of us is held always in a larger love. It is good to be together.
My name is Alex Riley. My pronouns are they, them, and we begin our service with a shared ritual by lighting our chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. This morning, our chalice lighting words are by Arlen Goff. Music arises from depths unknown, often without words, but never without meaning. And spirit rises from the deep within me, seducing my body to join the song. First, a tremor in the soul, then tapping of toes. The breath aligns with breath, heart beats in syncopation, and the stuttering buzz in my throat becomes a hum. Breath with breath, beat with beat, and music and spirit arise together. Wed with faith and hope and love and power, a song is born, bursting from my lips in sweet, sonorous symphony. A melody joining with other souls, perhaps in tune, perhaps not, but still a song arising from deep within and from community. Spirit moves, soul bursts song, and hope fills life. And I am not alone. How can I keep from singing? Would you please rise in body and or spirit and sing hymn number 346 in the gray hymnal, Come Sing a Song with Me, number 346. Music is an important part of our UU faith tradition. Hymns are often used in UU services as a means of building community, as a means of expressing shared values, and offering inspiration for both personal reflection and collective action. Group singing offers numerous benefits, including improved emotional well-being by boosting mood and reducing stress through the release of feel-good hormones. It fosters a sense of belonging and community, enhancing social bonds and reducing social isolation. Physically, singing improves lung function, circulation, and relaxation, while also benefiting cognitive health and memory. It encourages self-expression, creativity, and confidence, and can be culturally or spiritually enriching, making it a powerful activity for personal and collective well-being. Through song, today we will explore our shared values, uplift our spirits, and connect with one another in a meaningful way. Whether you're here to sing with passion or simply to just listen and reflect, this time together is an opportunity to deepen our sense of belonging and embrace the beauty of our collective voices. Let us lift our hearts and voices as one. Let us engage in this beneficial group singing by singing hymn number 108, My Life Flows On in Endless Song, number 108 in the gray hymnal. 108? No, 108.
One of the songs requested today is Let It Be a Dance. Some of you may remember that we at OBUUC have a personal connection to Rick Maston, composer of the song. Rick Maston is perhaps the only ordained UU minister never to have graduated, either from seminary or college. In fact, he says he failed college 5 times. But he was a prolific poet and author, and he was called a troubadour minister. He and his wife, Billy Barbara, toured cross-country in their Toyota camper, giving concerts. And Maston earned the distinction of preaching in more UU churches than any other minister in history, over 500 in 49 states. I moved to San Diego in 1978, and I heard Rick Maston give poetry readings several times at the UU church there. When I introduced myself to him, I told him that I had first heard him speak in Racine. He said, "Ah, Racine. What's the name of your minister?" "Roy Phillips." "Ah, yes, Roy Phillips. He invited me to come in the dead of winter, and I said to him, who would turn up on a cold, snowy winter night to hear a poet?" Roy said, "Don't worry, they'll be there." And to Rick's amazement, the church was packed. He told me, "It must reflect on your faith in Roy," and I think it did. This was Rick Maston's most famous poem song. I have an old album in the basement of him singing it, and he liked to end his poetry readings with this song. The night he died, his family circled around him and sang the song to him. I invite you to rise as you are able to sing Let It Be a Dance.
In the Gray Hymnal, number 311.
Hi, I'm Ruth Bradford Johnson. Soon our choir will sing Lift Up the Gates, Olympia Brown Unitarian Universalist Church's very own song. It is ours. In 2018, Reverend Marlene Walker was our interim minister. As OBUUC was celebrating its 175th anniversary, Reverend Walker suggested commissioning the writing of a hymn. The words of this hymn, titled Lift Up the Gates, were written by the Reverend Kendall Gibbons and the music composed by Reverend Jason Shelton. The lyrics were inspired by quotes from Olympia Brown, the first woman ordained with full denominational authority in the U.S. and minister from 1878 to 1882 of our then Universalist Church. The tune Olympia is to be sung, quote, with joyful determination, end quote. So dust off your historical timeline of Olympia Brown Universalist Church and be inspired by the words of Reverend Olympia Brown, chosen by Reverend Kendall Gibbons. The words are the very last in your historical timeline. If you never received a copy of OBUUC's historical timeline, you can contact me or the church office, and we will remedy this situation. Now, listen carefully to Olympia Brown's words, as important now as they were in the time when she wrote them. And thank you, choir, for filling us with joyful determination to lift up the gates.
Speak honest name, liberty's law and hope proclaim. Beyond the fear of future waits, open the doors, lift up the gates. Build a new world, peaceful and whole, comfort the sad, wounded and soul. Mysteries unfold, wisdom will show, wonderful things we yet may know. Beyond the walls of future ways, open the doors, lift up the gates. Seek larger life, holy and strong. Fill it with word, beauty and song. Teach greater love, useful and free. Labor to serve the bright ideal. Beyond today, our future waits. Open the doors, lift up the gates. Lift up the gates, lift up the gates.
There are many ways that we give to the life of this church, and our monetary offering is just one of those ways. Each month, we partner with a local organization that is doing great work in our community, and we share the money we gather. Our partner for the month of September has been the Impact to 11 program. 211? When a month has 5 Sundays, as September does, the recipient on the last Sunday is BLUU, or Black Lives Unitarian Universalist. All cash and checks in the plate this morning will go to this organization. For all of the ways that you can donate, please see the back of your order of service, and thank you for your generosity to BLUU and to this church. Thank you. Part of being in community is sharing our joys and our sorrows with one another. Sometimes we share them aloud, sometimes we light candles, and sometimes we have entirely different rituals. We all experience comfort in sharing and holding one another in compassion and love. This morning, you are invited to come up and light a candle to share a joy or sorrow you hold in your heart.
I'm lighting a candle this morning for the devastating effects of wind and water by Hurricane Helene in 5 different states.
I'm Rachel Choba, and I proudly announce that our little Marquette Garden has given over 300 pounds of food to our UU pantry and the food banks in the downtown area. My big concern is that the property that we sit on is for sale, and it would be wonderful if someone would buy that property and turn that into a CSA garden.
We light one final candle for the joys and the sorrows left unspoken, and for those that are on the hearts of our beloveds online. We invite you to join in singing, "There is a love holding me, there is a love holding us."
So let's start with the obvious. I'm gonna cry. Uh, as a neurodivergent child who was raised Catholic and made to go to Catholic school for 9 years straight, church held a lot of emotions for me. Boredom, like most children in church with nothing to do. Frustration at being forced to sit still and pay attention. As I grew older and my living situation got worse, my mental health got worse, and I figured out I was queer, I was feeling angry at God and rejected by the Catholic Church. And by the time I turned 14, I had sworn off organized religion in its entirety. I didn't think it was possible to be part of a faith community that would accept me for who I was. After all my experiences had taught me that when I needed my community to support me and lift me up, they choose to let me fall and condemn me instead of showing me acceptance. The first time I felt acceptance in church was when I came to OBUUC. Still to this day, I am frequently flooded with awe and almost disbelief that I am part of this amazing community. Sorry. This amazing community that meets me where I am, supports and accommodates me, that holds me in a larger love. How Could Anyone by Libby Roderick reminds me more than any other hymn of this fact. And when I heard it for the first time, I remember fighting back tears of joy. It is still hard not to cry when we sing it, or when I talk about it, apparently. Not only does it remind me of the love and compassion that this community gives me, but also the love and care I need to show to myself, which, as many of you know, is something that I have struggled with and continue to struggle with sometimes. With the help of this song and this community, I am learning to see the inherent worth and dignity of every person, including myself. If you could please join me in singing number 1053 in the Teal hymnal, How Could Anyone?
I forgot to mention during announcements that First Presbyterian Church is on Preservation Racine's historic tour. So when the service is over, please promptly leave the sanctuary because they're going to be coming in. And go into Erman Hall for coffee hour. It was so great to hear Lift Up the Gates. I was so honored to be part of the debut of that hymn for our 175th anniversary with the adult and multi-generational choir. I have so many fond memories of that. There are so many UU hymns that I love, and many of them are probably your favorites too. But the hymn I have selected as my favorite is not a UU hymn. It is a hymn that is popular across many Christian denominations, particularly Catholic. I first heard this hymn 27 years ago, sung at Princess Diana's funeral. It brought tears to my eyes in its humbling, simple message of what we are here on earth to do and be. The hymn is, "Make Me a Channel of Your Peace," also known as the Prayer of St. Francis. The prayer is attributed to St. Francis of Assisi of Italy, who lived from 1182 to 1226, but it was never found among his writings. In fact, it is not by St. Francis, and over the course of the centuries, it was never attributed to him. It quite frankly dates back only to the earliest 20th century and was composed by an anonymous author, one who was no doubt familiar with the saint's life and writings. It sounds like something St. Francis could have written based on his other writings. It appeared for the first time in 1912 in a simple bulletin in Normandy, France, called La Clochette, the Little Bell. The prayer really aligns well with our UU principles and how we strive to treat others as we wish to be treated. The English translation of the prayer from French is as follows. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring love. Where there is offense, let me bring pardon. Where there is discord, let me bring union. Where there is error, let me bring truth. Where there is doubt, let me bring faith. Where there is despair, let me bring hope. Where there is darkness, let me bring your light. Where there is sadness, let me bring joy. O Lord, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that one receives. It is in self-forgetting that one finds. It is in forgiving that one is forgiven. It is in dying that one awakens to eternal life. Sebastian Temple adapted the prayer and wrote the music for the hymn, which is a beautiful, simple melody fitting the simple message. Let's sing it. You will find it in the Red Presbyterian hymnal in your pew benches, and it is number 753. The adapted version of verse 3 in the hymnal is not as UUPC as the prayer, but concentrate on the intent of the message. The first two verses of the melody are the same, and then it goes on to the third verse with another melody, and then back to the top of the page for verse 4. Alejandro will first play verses 1 and 3 as an introduction.
Spirit of life, come unto me. We haven't sung this song much recently, but it's the song I remember from the very first time I attended OBUUC at the invitation of Andy McLean about 40 years ago. Come unto me felt like a personal invitation to listen to my heart, to listen to the Spirit that calls us to come from a place of compassion. The stirrings of compassion felt like a call to action, and as I continued to attend OBUUC, I saw clearly that action was valued at this church. A call to action is different from a call to believe. It is a call to put belief into action, action that is intended to create justice. Spirit of Life was written by Carolyn McDade. The genesis of Spirit of Life was a very personal one for her. Late one night in the early 1980s, she was driving her close friend home from a meeting for a Central American Solidarity. What she remembered most clearly was a feeling she had. When I got to my friend's house, I told her, I feel like a piece of dried cardboard that has lain in the attic for years. Just open wide the door and it'll be dust. I was tired, not with my community, but with the world. She just sat with me, and I loved her for sitting with me. I'm wondering how many of us have felt this way recently. McDade then drove to her own home. She said, I walked through my house in the dark, found my piano, and that was my prayer. May I not drop out. It was not written, but prayed. I knew more than anything, she said, that I wanted to continue in faith with the movement. The song started as a prayer by a woman who was trying to stay in faith with a larger social justice movement. But Spirit of Life slowly grew into a life of its own. The song spread to Unitarian Universalist congregations, and when the UUA published Singing the Living Tradition in the early 90s, Spirit of Life was included. McDade, however, was reluctant to have it included. I thought of it as a living prayer, not a hymn, she said. I don't feel like a hymn writer. She was not even aware of how widely or for how long UUs had been singing the song in their churches, copying it from gathering to gathering without getting permission or paying the songwriter. At one point, some friction heated up between McDade and Spirit of Life enthusiasts. UU members had written several additional verses to sing in their churches. McDade asked them to stop. She said, my feeling was, you need to find your own melody. Don't lose what you want to sing, but find a way to make it yours. It became an important song for UUs. A creative UU added hand signals. It is often sung as a prayer for strength. So Spirit of Life began as a prayer by a woman with no intention of it becoming a hymn for a religious movement. However, that is exactly what happened to it. We sing, roots hold me close, wings set me free. The roots are the hope that is at the center of the song's creation, and the wings are all of us who sing it and spread it throughout our faith community. This is the action we are all called to do in our UU lives. Some call Spirit of Life our amazing grace. In 6 short lines, Spirit of Life touches so much that is central to our faith: compassion, justice, community, freedom, reverence for nature, and the mystery of life. It finds a common ground held by humanists and theists, pagans and Christians, Buddhists and Jews, gay and straight among us. Raised Southern Baptist, McDade joined the Unitarian Church of Austin, Texas in the 1950s and was active in the Arlington Street Church in Boston in the 60s. She was involved in Unitarian Universalist ministry, but she self-identified as non-denominational woman of faith. Her community was a loose community of women. When someone asks where she was spiritually formed and where she participates in spiritual formation with others, it's not ever been connected with churches. My community is a community of women, she said. I call myself a woman of faith, seeking with others to touch what matters. Neither does she identify herself as a songwriter or musician, though she has written hundreds of songs and released 15 CDs. Activist, yes, she says, but not a musician. McDade gave her life to what she calls the movement. By that, she certainly meant the feminist movement that dramatically changed what was possible for women since she was a girl. But she also meant a chain of linked, politically progressive causes. She has actively opposed wars, South African apartheid, U.S. foreign policy, and nuclear power. She has worked for economic justice, environmental protection, and the rights of women, migrant workers, prisoners, refugees, and lesbians. McDade's life reached pinnacles of political victory and spiritual insight, as well as personal disappointment and despair with the world. Running through it all has been a strong thread of women's spirituality, which she has woven with Unitarian Universalist and United Church of Canada women, as well as radical Catholic nuns. McDade spoke of her songs as her teachers, but she was the first to say her songs are not for everybody. The lyrics are heavy in metaphor, thick with poetry, and you won't find a male pronoun anywhere. Water, grass, birds, and breath recur as themes. I write love songs to social movements, she said. After doing research about Carolyn McDade, I am inspired as much by her story as I was by Spirit of Life so many years ago. She died in March 2022 at the age of 69. Although she is no longer alive, her commitment to action calls us to do the same in our own day and time to give life the shape of justice. Corey? So we can sing hymn 123 in the gray book, yes. And I have my own singer-songwriter here. Sing along, please. What? Oh, cool.
Yes,
Thank
please.
you, thank you.
What you get up
You're
there?
one of those UUs who did that, right? Okay.
You ready? Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
So I was asked to give a reflection on the song Blue Boat Home. It was quite Reverend Danielle's favorite. That's how I learned it, really. And I love singing it. But you've probably noticed that I like to sway back and forth as I sing it, like I'm on a boat. That didn't seem like enough of a reflection, so I did a search. First thing to come up was Blue Boat Home is a popular hymn sung in Unitarian Universalist congregations worldwide. That made me happy. More searching revealed the lyrics were written by Peter Mayer of Stillwater, Minnesota, around 2002, who I discovered can be found performing at UU and UCC events. Like next week, he'll be at the Unity Temple, UU, in Oak Park, Illinois. The tune, though, is much, much older. It's a Welsh hymn called Hefydal, composed by Roland Pitchard in 1830. He was just 19 years old. And 12 years later, our congregation was formed in 1842. The tune has been used for Alleluia, sing to Jesus, Come thou, long expected Jesus, and by the Mormons as In Humility, Our Savior. I'm ever so grateful that Peter Mayer created his version. As one reviewer noted, he writes songs that celebrate life on earth and the mysterious and wondrous fact of our existence. Songs about the vast cosmos that surrounds us and how we are a part of it all. So with that in mind, would you rise as you are able and go sailing with me number 1064 in the Teal Hymn Book.
We extinguish our chalice, but not the light of this community. That light cannot be extinguished, for it lives in each of us, reminding us that we are connected, held always in a larger love. Our closing words today are by Susan L. Van Dresser. Let us sing the magic of imagination by which we know one another and learn the lives of eras gone by. Let us sing the magic of creation by which we build the world of our soul and teach its wisdom to others, young and old. Let us sing the magic of our lives together, holding and shaping by the movement of the breath from the heart to lung and all new life that is to come. Now go with singing. Go now with magic in your fingertips. Touch the world with life. We are omitting the postlude because we are running late. So, bye, friendos.